Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X-Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X-Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X-Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomenon, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X-Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X-Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X-Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X-Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light. Welcome to Mission Evolution Radio Show with Gwilda Wiyaka, bringing together today's leading experts to uncover ever-deepening spiritual truths and the latest scientific developments in support of the evolution of humankind. For more information on Mission Evolution Radio with Gwilda Wiyaka, visit www.missionevolution.org. And now, here's the host of Mission Evolution, Miss Gwilda Wiyaka.
Hello, dear friends. This is Mission Evolution Radio Show, where we share innovative thoughts with today's leading scientific and esoteric experts supporting the path to unity and enlightenment. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka. This hour we'll be exploring animal companions and spirit friends. One of the many things we as humans have misunderstood and taken for granted is the animals we share the planet with. Now, with species going extinct daily, domestic animals being neglected and mistreated, it's clearly time to evolve our relationship with the animal kingdom. A good place to start is with our pets. What have we been missing in our relationship with our companion animals? Is there more to them than meets the eye? What can we learn in sharing their lives and their passing? How can we better relate to our pets during their time with us and their spirits after death? With us this hour to delve into the topic is Dr. Joanne Lefebvre Connolly, an intuitive veterinarian and author of the book Animal Teachings from Hayley's Angel Methods. She's specialized in end-of-life care and counseling for the past 12 years. Dr. Joanne promotes intuitive medicine for the mind, body, and soul. She guides families in tuning in with their pets, themselves, nature, and the universe to make better, fair, personalized medical decisions and allow for a peaceful and dignified passing. Her website, Hayley'sAngels.com. Dr. Joanne, thanks for joining us on Mission Evolution.
Oh, it's such an honor to be here with you to share the rich teachings of animals. They have a lot to say.
Yes, they do, don't they? Why did you decide to become a veterinarian?
That was truly my place. We all have a place in this world, and from a very young age, when you let your heart guide the way, you know where your place is. And so when I was young, my favorite thing was just to sit outside in nature and play with the earthworms. And the ants, let them crawl on my hands and look at the birds and the squirrels. And I've always been really fascinated by the beautiful world outside. I've never been one who liked to be inside in a building. So being outside with the animals, and they've always given me the best answers to all my existential questions. And so wanting to help them, spending my life caring for them was definitely my place.
So where did you study?
I studied in Montreal. I'm French Canadian, so I grew up in the North Pole, what we call today. It's very, very small French town north of Montreal. And as a teenager, I was blessed with working in a wildlife refuge because, again, we were so far up north in the forest, so there was a lot of wildlife around us. So I spent a few summers as a student just helping at that refuge and helping with the moose and the bears and the lynx, and just my fascination kept growing about how much they have to teach us and how much wiser they are, and they're just living a very sustainable life and a very simple life. There's no worries. We the human breed tends to overcomplicate things, but when you look at animals, it's easy and it flows. And that's what the way I'm trying to live my life is how they are living their life, and then sharing those teachings with other humans on my path to make it a better place for us here.
That's a beautiful thought. I mean, if you look at everything except humans, everything works together, There's a lot to be learned from that. Can you describe what being a veterinarian of the New World means?
Well, this is my vision of, truly the world that we live in today is there's a lot of room for improvement. So my vision is really to build this new world where it could all really work out if we, again, listen to the animals and apply their teachings. And, that means living sustainably, only using what we need. Zero waste is definitely one of my goals. It's challenging, but we can do it. Even in this modern life, there is a way to achieve balance on all levels. And the foods that we eat, we tend to overeat as a society. We're stressed. We need to slow down the pace. And so, again, really looking at animals and why do they get sick? What happens when we get out of balance? And it's interesting, too, when we look at our pets, because they are not quite living the life of wild animals. So they do, it has its pros and its cons. Of course, they are they are safer. They don't have to look for food because we provide that to our pets. They are safer from predators as opposed to in the wild. But the downside of domestication has been different diseases building up and developing in them, because the humans have not made smart choices as far as breeding. What kind of animals are we breeding? We're very far from nature. When you look at nature, the dogs, in the wild, like the wolves and the coyotes, are mid-size, middle-size, so they're not little 3-pound dog. They're not the 200-pound dog that we have been wanting to breed. They have a long nose, so they can breathe well. They don't have the flat faces. They have nice pointy ears, so that's good for health also. So our pets, we've created a lot of problems for them. And
we certainly have. What have you observed about the attunement between animals and their people?
Well, and so that's the other piece of the puzzle. On an emotional level, animals living with us have become little sponges. So they take on our stress, they take on our anger, they take on our lack of self-confidence. Anything will flare up. So my first realization as a veterinarian, which was almost 20 years ago, I graduated from vet school. Right away, I noticed how animals would share the same physical diseases as their people. And I was like, wow, this is fascinating, because obviously it's not contagious. One did not give it to the other. And so since the beginning, I've always started asking questions to families and say, well, how are you feeling? What's going on in your life? Because your pet is sharing that same disease. And so there is always something going on emotionally. And so the more zen we are and balanced, our animals will feed off of that too. So I've seen the animals healing miraculously because people have been able to clean up their life, get rid of all the toxicities, bad people for us, bad relationship, just geographically not being in the right place. I've seen how accidents will happen more if you're just not on your path. And if you're not listening, nature gives us so many signs of guidance to tell us,
What do you see our animals taking on our diseases? Do you think they take that on to help us with it or to show us what's going on?
It depends. Sometimes it's just unfortunately bad for them because we're sharing the same energy. So we're spewing that toxicity. If you're not happy inside and you're stressed out, then your animal will suffer from that too. So yes, animals will help us get through difficult situations in life. So part of it, animals do have their life mission. And I find it always fascinating how we adopt our pets. How do you find your pet? And I always ask people, because most people say, oh, no, I did not choose my animal. He chose me.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. Yeah.
And that's fun because I love that people are going with the flow in picking the right teacher for them. They might have an idea of a breed and an age of an animal, and then they end up going to the shelter and,
get something totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah. And why do animals get sick? Because, you don't really see in nature, animals start getting sick if there's an imbalance in the population. That the land can't sustain them. But our pets tend to get these weird diseases. Is it a combination of that interbreeding that we've done along with environmental factors?
There is often definitely the food that they eat, is not as healthy as it used to be. I mean, it's far from fresh. I mean, now we have more options, and I encourage people to make sure they don't feed their animals any products that have dyes in them or preservatives. And that goes for people too. I've cleaned up my diet a lot since I've been more attuned with what's going on and how we make ourselves sick too by eating processed foods. And, so I've become vegan for many reasons, but mainly to help the animals. And then I realized that it was good for my own health too.
Is it important to really look to, how they would have, eaten in the wild? It's like we put grains in our pet food, but they're not animals that would eat grain normally.
I mean, I'm not so much against grain. It's a balance. It really is a balance. Grains can offer some nutrition, but it's really a balance. I think the main problem, there's many diets out there, and there is, a lot of different ways to eat. But mainly, I think, is just that whole notion of processed foods and preservatives and dyes, because it's toxic. Those are the most toxic parts of the equation, I would say. Some animals have developed more food allergies now also. We need to breed for health. We definitely need to go back to what nature is teaching us, that it's survival of the fittest. So we need to breed the animals that are the fittest, that are genetically more able to, to thrive and to be strong. And so all the cute breeds that we've created, they're just not as strong. We see the same diseases. You tell me a breed of dog and I'll tell you what it's going to have for disease. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty sad that we've come to that point, because we need to give animals a chance from the start.
So if we get back to a more primitive way of letting them pick each other would probably be a good start, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and same thing for people. I mean, my husband and I decided not to have children for many reasons, but it's really, it's a team effort. So we're looking at our planet.
Well, we're going to have to pick up on the team effort for the planet on the other side of a commercial break. Dr. Joanne and I will return shortly, so don't you go away. You're listening to the Mission Evolution Radio Show, coming to you on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. It's hard to listen to the news without realizing we're living in volatile, unprecedented times. Yet never has there been such an opportunity to transform the human condition. As old structures fail, where can we find the guidance to co-create a better way? Find Your Path Home is an ever-evolving, leading-edge information, education, and healing resource center designed to support and guide you on your path to unity and enlightenment. Based on sound principles employed by shaman worldwide, we provide techniques that can support you through the current transitions, offering online shamanic classes, international long-distance shamanic healing sessions, complimentary Mission Evolution radio episodes and Stairway to Heaven TV vignettes, seminars, retreats, and much more. All of this can be found on findyourpathhome.com.
So I was watching the X Zone TV channel last night when I was abducted by aliens, and they kept repeating to me over and over again, simultv.com, simultv.com.
What's simultv.com?
That's what I asked them. They had it written on the side of their UFO.
How do you spell that?
UFO.
No, I mean simultv.com.
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 Right. simultv.com.
Interesting that you were abducted by aliens in a simultv.com UFO last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I remember now last night I was awakened from a deep sleep. My great-grandmother was standing there. She said she'd come from the hereafter to tell me about simultv.com. She even spelled it out for me. simultv.com, sonny boy.
simultv.com.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, you'll never guess what my psychic guru just told me.
simultv.com.
Exactly. Are you guys psychic too?
Of course.
We all know about simultv.com. simultv.com.
Path Home Shamanic Art School proudly presents the Gathering of Shaman 2019 Fall Retreat, Manifestation Samhain. Join me, certified shamanic instructor Gwilda Wiyaka, in the magnificent Colorado Mountains this November 2nd and 3rd for a life-changing event. Participate in unique teachings and ceremonies that'll put the power and magic of shamanic manifestation into your hands. Sit in circle with like-minded individuals, sharing group energy and the power it generates. Classes will be held in a facility next to the beautiful, majestic Arkansas River, further empowering the experience. Space is limited, so reserve your spot today. For more information, visit findyourpathhome.com or email touchin@findyourpathhome.com. Welcome back. This is the Mission Evolution Radio Show, missionevolution.org. We're dedicated to unification and evolution of consciousness. Our guest this hour is intuitive veterinarian Dr. Joanne Lefebvre Connolly. Her website, Hayley'sAngels.com. Dr. Joanne, what is intuitive medicine?
Intuitive medicine is when we use our heart as well as our brain. Our brain is a very good organ we need to use, but our heart is also often the only one that has the answers, over the brain. So it's a team effort. And intuitive medicine is when you're looking at the full picture of why do we get sick and how to prevent illnesses in the first place, and then how to heal from an illness because we have figured out why it happened in the first place. Again, it's all about our mindset, our emotions, stress level, being in the right place, fulfilling our life purpose. We all have to feed our soul. And what I see the most in society, and animals too have their life purpose, so we tend to get lost and we do things that we don't really like, for the paycheck. And we obviously, it's stressful. We live in fear. We need to be sustainable, have money, pay the bills and all that. But often our heart is just not in it, so we're doing a lot of things that we dislike. And that's one of the biggest reasons why we all get sick. So I encourage people also to try to figure out what their life purpose is, but what their animal's life purpose is as well. And by choosing one word that describes your animal the most, if you ask yourself, what is my pet living for? And what does he need to stay alive? And, one of our cats, it's going outside. I mean, we rescued this kitten. He would have been a wild feral cat. He was from the wild. He would have probably died, unfortunately, because when we found him, we had to bottle feed him. He was so small. But we have to honor his nature. We tried to keep him inside for safety, and he would get constipated. He had, major digestive issues. So we figured out with him, we could see he was miserable inside. So we figured out a way to live safely, to send him out for a few hours in the day to fulfill his needs, to be, just to be the best we can all be. And that helps flow the energy in the body.
So how can we figure out, well, people have enough trouble doing it for themselves, much less for their pets. How can we figure out our animal's life's mission?
It's very simple. Everything with animals is simple, and again, it's going back in our heart and following our gut feeling. We have a lot of answers inside, so trying to shut off our brain and going with the flow of energies and listening to our animals. It's, I have actually so many examples, but if you take your dog for a walk and your dog wants to go say hello to everybody, a little social butterfly, well, you might have a little therapy dog on your hands, and so you should explore. They're going on the journey that your pet wants to go on, instead of just saying, no, we're taking a walk and I'm making all the decisions and I'm in charge. They're letting your animals be in charge of what seems to give them so much pleasure. I have a little vegan activist at my house. He's a 100-pound potbelly pig that found me. I did not find him. So he threw me for a loop. We had a lot of learning to do because I didn't know much about pigs.
Whole different species there.
But he's really smart and he needs to. So he walks on a leash. He goes to the beach. We had to increase his quality of life, take him around town because he was bored otherwise. And so I did not expect him to be such a vegan activist, but of course, anywhere I take him, people come to him, and then he sits for treats. He's got people figured out. So people, the first thing that they say when they see him is like, "Oh my God, I cannot eat meat again. Look at this pig." He's so.
There's his mission, right?
Yes, yeah. And I was like, wow, Wilbur, you're doing this like beautifully. I could not do as good of a job. Like, this is amazing what you're doing. And I want to encourage you to be the best you can be, because that's important. People need to understand that animals have emotions and being more in touch with our food and really making better choices all around to live together and sustainably on the planet.
And I'm glad you brought up this live together thing. I've worked for years with dogs in particular, working with search and rescue. And now I've retired from search and rescue because of my age. But anyway, I still have a dog that was trained for that. And when we walk together, I'm clear up in the wilderness here, when we walk together, she attunes to me and I attune to her, and I can tell by watching her if we have predators around or anything else. Haven't we gotten away from working as a team with our animals?
Yes, exactly. We think we know it all, but I really beg everyone to just going back to the team effort, because our animals have a lot of answers that we've forgotten about, and one of them is live today. Just take time to live today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Let's enjoy
life. They're so present,
life.
aren't they?
Exactly.
They're so present, yeah.
And then spending time outside. We need to go outside. We need to just sit in the grass and earthing, grounding ourselves, just touching nature. I find it huge. Like when I go in a city and there's cement everywhere, it chokes me. Like now I've gotten to a point where I'm so sensitive to all that because I need to go back. That's why I live on 4 acres and I always need to be in the wilderness because the trees heal me and we have a pond and, really surrounded by nature, and it cleanses the whole body. It makes us just being more aware of where we're at on our journey of life because,
that brings up an interesting question as well, is in bringing our animals indoors and making them live in our environment versus out of doors. Have we compromised their health with that as well?
It's a balance, it's a balance. So that's what I tell people when we can't be at one extreme or the other. And my own cat taught me that, So yes, of course, when you're outside, you can get hit by a car or eaten by a predator. But when you're inside, I see animals. And now it's an epidemic of obesity. Cats are fat. They all get diabetes. They develop the same problems as people because we're too sedentary. People all need to also be more active and go outside and run and walk, and it's good for the digestion. So yes, we have impacted the health of our animals too because we're a little too out of balance. So, but we can still change that. We can still go back outside and reach balance for all of us and our animals.
Yeah, we really need that, don't we, to regain the respect and the relationship with nature, our animals and nature itself. So tell me, how do you use intuitive medicine in your veterinary practice?
I use it all the time. Whenever we have an issue, or often behavioral issues or medical issues, and end of life care. I do a lot of in-home euthanasias at the end of life. So trying to figure out what is the right medical decision for the patient. So it's really treating the patient as a whole, not treating the disease, because you can have 100 patients with the same disease, whether animals or humans. And the treatment plan will be different for every one of them because of many different factors. But, of course, with animals, it comes to, well, will the animal allow us to, put in an IV catheter, give fluids, how much can they handle? Some animals are scared to death. You try to hospitalize them and they'll have a heart attack just being with us, or cats will try to bite us. So there is a lot to be said for doing in-home therapies that lowers the stress level. When is it time to euthanize? So I try to empower families to really look at all answers that will come from all different angles. So dreams can have a lot of answers to guide us into, well, have we reached an exit door? Is my animal asking me to help him go? And often people will just have such a bond with their animal that they tell me, oh yeah, he gave me the look. We've talked about it.
Right. Now, do you think, you brought up an interesting thing here. Do you think that animals and people communicate in the dreams?
Yeah, I think we communicate on many different levels, but yes, dreams are really powerful. So I encourage everybody to fall asleep with a piece of paper and a pen. And when you're waking up and you're still foggy in your dream, try to scribble down anything you remember before you forget, because dreams are very rich. They've helped me a lot with my own animals. They come often, and nature too, and messages of guidance from loved ones who have passed. And
that's the other question I want to bring up is animals that I've had in the past that have crossed will come to me in my dreams. Are we actually speaking with the spirit of our animals?
We're all connected. I really believe that there is only a thin veil between the physical world and the spirit world. And we go back and forth. We're still very much in tune because a lot of people tell me how someone lost their mom and she loved cardinal birds, and then they will randomly see cardinal birds in their life when they have to make a tough decision. Or for someone else, it will be smelling the pipe or the perfume of a loved one who died. And, so it feels like we do have little signs of guidance, and animals do the same thing. And so we need to be in touch with all those little things that, people don't dare talking about. But when I open that door, then, oh my God, I hear amazing stories because people, we're a very judgmental society. So people don't want to share those things. But when I open that door, yes, there's a lot of answers in that realm of going back, when is it time to go back home to the other side? Science has proven that we're more prone to dying on our birthday. And I see that with animals also.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? And they, once I've had animals, once they crossed, I could still feel them brush up against my leg because they always walked next to me on my left side for months and months and months and months. Like, well, maybe they left their bodies, but they didn't leave me. How do you know when it's time or you're holding them close to you beyond their time?
And again, it's really to be aware, why are we making the decisions that we're making? And is it for us or for our animals? So it's hard to be selfless because we're going to miss our animals. But remembering that our animal might be suffering and we don't want them to suffer ultimately. So I try to really help people pick the right time. So there is no regrets or we waited too long. And so it's all about quality of life over quantity.
Beautifully put. We're going to have to take a break, but I do want to get into that because that's a difficult decision. It is time for another short pause. Dr. Joanne and I will return to our discussion shortly, so you stay right there. This is Mission Evolution Radio Show. We're coming to you on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net.
Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X-Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X-Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X-Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomena, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X-Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X-Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X-Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X-Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light.
Welcome back. This is the Mission Evolution Radio Show, missionevolution.org, bringing leading-edge information supporting the path to enlightenment. We're speaking with intuitive veterinarian Dr. Joanne Lefebvre Connolly. Her website, Hayley'sAngels.com. Dr. Joanne, we were talking about the difficult time. You know, the only thing I found wrong with pets is they don't live long enough, you know.
I agree.
And it's so difficult. I mean, it's fun in a certain way to watch them, all their different, you know, from puppyhood to elderhood. It's beautiful to watch, and they have so much to teach us about our own aging process. Would you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely, again, watching them and honoring their life in every chapter of their life. So trying to bring the best out of them, trying to figure out what their life purpose is about so they can be fully fulfilled. And then when their life mission is finished, often, you know, it's the end of their life and it coincides. The timing is always quite right into, well, why is it time to leave us now? And so that helps us make that decision also of helping them pass. So, you know, I see often when the family is expecting their first child, then that's kind of will be the time for the dog, the old dog that's been the first child that's taught us how to care for another being, you know, that will be his time to die. When the family might be moving or children are all grown up, going to college, leaving the house, you know. And so really looking at the relationship that we all have and who's the favorite person of each animal, because there tends to be one person that one animal has come to help. You know, it could be a child or, you know, one of the adults. And so paying attention to all those little signs. And so what can we do to help our pets pass is, first of all, giving them permission to let go. You know, it's hard, but telling them, you know, thank you for all your dedicated years and all the joy you've brought us, but please don't suffer for us, you know, because a lot of animals will hang in there for us and sacrifice themselves because they're loyal. They're the best friends that we can have, and it's hard for them to die. So giving them permission to let go and follow their own journey. And animals have made me believe in reincarnation because so many families have told me, oh, yes, this is my pet who came back in another animal body, or my grandpa has come back in my cat. And how do people know that? Well, there is behavioral resemblances or physical resemblances also. This one girl, you know, she thought her grandpa who had a mole on the cheek came back as her cat because the cat came to her with a mole on his cheek. And, someone else, and I talk about this in my book too, this one woman lost her husband and then adopted a puppy. And the puppy selectively was trying to bite the people that her husband didn't like. And so she swore her husband was back in this puppy. And I believe in all of it because it makes sense. I feel like on a spirit level, we're all connected. We come back with the same souls often to continue our journey of learning and evolving. So pay attention.
I have a question for you also. One thing that I've witnessed, and I don't know how accurate it is, but I've seen where animals will share bodies. In other words, one is crossed, but then has a message to give, and will come back, and the other animal that was its companion will start displaying their behavior. Like I had one dog start barking like a Malamute when it wasn't a Malamute because the Malamute had crossed, and that was the one always taking care of us. Have you seen that or heard about that?
Yes, you're not the only one. It's not something that I have heard about many times, like a handful of times, but it's been so powerful, just like what you're describing. For your other dog to bark like a Malamute, I mean, come on, yes. It makes so much sense that the spirit can come back into the friend's body for a short time to continue the teachings and bring a message to us and just bring us comfort, saying, hey, I'm still here. Absolutely.
It's amazing. Animals are so easy with life and death, and we're the ones that just go into this horrible suffering when it's time to leave the bodies, to not have that fuzzy little body with us. But they stay, so what can they teach us about our own relationship to our mortality?
And again, it's just to really be, I love when I do euthanasias at home with children. Children have an easier time than adults with the whole cycle of life and death. So being in tune, just remembering that we know how this life journey is going to end. We will die. That's like a definite. So let's prepare. Let's make sure that when we're ready to die, that we don't have any regrets. So it makes me, animals have taught me, live today, live to the fullest. And when it's your time to go, well, it's okay because it's not the end. We will see each other. We will continue to communicate. So I try to teach people, families, that theory, and I tell them, watch for your animal to visit you in a spirit form because they do. And a lot of people have that same experience, many, many people. So it's not as bad as society's making it sound, like it's
right.
Final.
The other thing that I've noticed, and particularly in the dogs that are closer to the wolves, like your Malamute or your Shepherd, because they're such pack animals, they'll come to me in spirit, even though they're still physically in their body, if they need me to know something badly enough. In other words, my son was having problems, and his Malamute came to me in my dreams, came to me in my waking state. So I give him a call, and sure enough, he was having a terrible time and needed some support. Have you heard of that before?
Yes. Also, absolutely. Working as a team, like we talked about, and so the animal in need or the other animals in the pack, will talk to us about who needs what, and behaviorally too, you can tell other animals in the house will help us decide when it's the right time to euthanize one of their pack mate, by either they will retreat from them or they will be really clingy to the dying one, or, a lot of behaviors that we will notice in the wild. So it's paying attention to all of those signs coming from everywhere. And one great story I can tell you, I had this one patient that came to the hospital, and, the owner wasn't sure about euthanasia. He was an old guy with seizures and, arthritis. It was not clear. And what gave it away, finally, there's many little signs, but what gave it away was the other dog that lived with this old one. He insisted to come to the hospital, but he hated the vet. And the owner that visit, he told me, I brought his brother, but he hates to come here. But today he insisted he needed to be here to bring comfort to his brother because he knew it was time. He was not going to see him again. So
this brings up another interesting thing is, they're communicating with us all the time, but most of us miss it. How can we better communicate with our animals?
By slowing down and really bonding, again, with our heart and just being aware to all. There's no coincidences. So when something comes up, paying attention to why is it happening, and really connecting the dots. So it helps us tremendously. Pets grieve too, and that's one thing also we should talk about, because when an animal dies, it can be really difficult for the rest of the pack to cope with it unless they know. If we can have them spend time and be there when the animal passes or visit with the body also, that helps so much.
Yes, I've always made a point of doing that with my, when one of my pets would die and the others would remain, is to, if they couldn't be there during the crossing, at least let them see that the body is empty and that that the pet's gone on. But they can grieve for a long time, and they grieve their owners when they lose them too, don't they?
Yes, and I would love for the medical system, when a human dies at the hospital, we need to give those animals a chance to visit. The same thing, they need time, they need to understand it's the end of a big life chapter, and we can help them by, spending time together. And if we have cremains of, just the remains of the urn from the human or the animal who has died, it helps a lot too. I see animals reacting very interestingly when you show them the urn of their friend who died. And it seems like they do pick up the energy, the smell, or that's my friend, those are the remains. And it gives them some peace of mind too, it seems to be with the urn.
So they quit looking for them in this reality and probably tune in on another one, yes?
Yes, and some animals are more in tune than others with that. You have a lot of cats that will start playing with the winds or hissing at nobody or at a spirit visiting. Dogs will bark. Again, when somebody else dies, you can tell there is communication between the two worlds. So that's really fascinating.
What do you think is the most important lesson that you personally have learned from helping animals cross?
It's a celebration of life. They taught me to celebrate life. And so it doesn't have to be sad. Of course, we share tears, we shed tears, but I've done it. I've seen it done. Like we've done it so many times as really a celebration and honoring the being who's dying and really keeping his dignity. The dignity in dying is so important. And we need that for ourselves, for people. Euthanasia is such a good option for all of us, because when what's worse than dying is suffering. So I hate that we're medical torture. We're going too far. We need to know when to stop, when the patient is ready to go. And there is no point in keeping the body alive for the sake of the family. That's, of course, is sad. But we tend to forget too easily how much suffering the patient, the dying one, is going through.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've always said. I'm not afraid of dying, but the process doesn't appeal to me, because we have drug it out and made it so brutal in so many instances.
And I've seen how natural passing can happen really beautifully and quickly. And again, first thing is to give permission to our loved ones to die. And second thing is to give our loved ones space. They need space, they need room. And that's why, like in the wild, they'll retreat. The dying one will retreat from the pack.
Take their space. We're going to have to take our space for another commercial break. Dr. Joanne and I will be back shortly, so don't leave us now. This is the Mission Evolution Radio Show on the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net.
If you are looking for a safe, zero-calorie, natural option to the harmful artificial sweeteners on the market today, Just Like Sugar is what you're looking for. Just Like Sugar is a wonderful natural alternative for those health-conscious people who choose a calorie-restricted diet with a great, pure, sweet flavor that tastes just like sugar. Just Like Sugar is a great natural option for people suffering from diabetes and may be useful in restricted diet programs where standard sugars are not allowed and does not cause a laxative effect of some other sweeteners. Just Like Sugar comprises a perfect blend of chicory root fiber, natural calcium, natural vitamin C, and Just Like Sugar's sweetness comes from the natural flavors from the peel of the orange. Just Like Sugar is a natural alternative to harmful artificial sweeteners and will change the way that you believe all natural sweetener products taste. Just Like Sugar is available at your local Whole Foods markets, Wild Oats markets, Henry's, Sun Harvest, and many other fine natural food stores in the U.S., Canada, and worldwide. They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Ellie Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, The 70-Year Cover-Up Exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, Sci-Fi, and Horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
Memorable dynamic presentations are a not-so-secret weapon in the business world. Do you have a powerful message that must be shared, but you haven't found a way to deliver that message? Do you want to be known as a top public speaker who gets amazing results? Are you ready to create and deliver your powerful message? Thomas Hides can help you create and deliver your speech to get the results you desire. Visit iconquality.com.
Did you expect your business to flourish, but instead it plateaued or didn't get off the ground yet? Would you like to achieve massive goals and discover new sources of income within your business? When you're ready to experience that type of success with fast results, Cindy Hendricks is the business coach for you. Her work with entrepreneurs and business owners has been life-changing. To get you and your business where you want to be, go to imaginemoresuccess.com.
Has the fear of public speaking stalled your business or personal life? What would you give to develop and maintain supreme confidence? Have an invaluable private program to always perform at your best. Imagine how you would feel. You can have all that and so much more today with Thomas Hides' life-changing course called Number One Fear Unleashed. Visit numberonefear.com and be liberated from your fear of public speaking.
Welcome back. This is Mission Evolution Radio Show, bringing together gifted people of service to the world. To suggest a topic or a guest, email us, info@missionevolution.org. Our guest this hour is intuitive veterinarian Dr. Joanne Lefebvre Connolly. Her website, Hayley'sAngels.com. Joanne, I would like to go in a little bit more about how we can communicate with our animals, both those in the fur and those that have crossed, in a coherent way and get the lessons that they're trying to share with us.
So for a lot of people, it's really enhancing all of our gifts. You know, a lot of people will get messages, just like words that come in your brain that are already made up. You did not make them up yourself. You know, you kind of get ideas and inspiration and just words, or other people will get movies, and I do get quite a few movies that will just start playing, you know, in my head, like I can see an image, or again, like a blurb of like a past life. I've gotten quite a few messages from my own past lives of who I was before and how it impacts who we are today. And that is such a rich conversation that will be mostly in the next book that I'm writing, and we can have another talk because it's so rich. But really connecting on all these different levels with our body will give us feelings too of, like a knot in our stomach. Let's say we're thinking about taking our pet to the hospital for surgery. Should we do surgery or not? And then you have the worst pain in your stomach about it, or you look, your cat just goes missing that day that you're supposed to take him in, because that's a sign that might
there's your sign, right?
Yeah, it's the wrong, it's the wrong decision, or the energy just doesn't flow. You feel uneasy about it. So all that communication on all levels with animals, with nature, with our world, it's all about energy flowing. People will give us messages, to random messages. Something comes out of your mouth, you have no idea why you're saying it, but it's the perfect words that your friend needed to hear to help them on their journey. So we're truly all connected.
When the animals cross, can they become spirit helpers? And how does that compare with an animal totem?
So, yes, so they can help us, animal or humans. Once they're on the other side, then they might decide to stay there to guide us and be close to us. And what I've experienced with my animals, the time frame varies. Some of them might leave much quicker, like I don't feel them around, and they might be reincarnating, getting ready to reincarnate to find me again, or they might spend longer period of time, or they can stay there for a long time, for years. Animal totem. Okay, here's a little glimpse into the next book, because when you realize, to me, animal totems are like, what animals are you born kind of attracted to? You have a relationship. There's a deep relationship, and they will follow you throughout your life. But what I've realized is it's linked to what animal have you been in your past life that you are portraying today, because the way we behave, the way we look, there is so much that gives it away of what animal have you been in a past life, and why is it that you crave seafood, for example, or you need to have chicken in your diet, or I'm vegan and I'm completely fine with being vegan, and that makes me thrive of just eating plants. And my personality is definitely one of a prey as opposed to a predator. And I love to, when I exercise, it's very low impact, as opposed to my husband, who's been a lion, who has a mane, like his hair is just this crazy curly hairdo. Like we portray the animals that we have been. So the lion always comes back for him to help him on this journey. He sings like a lion. He's a singer. He's got a wonderful voice. And so he exercises, it's all out too. It's the lion behavior of, going to hunt, like he's pushing it to the extreme, and then he'll lay down for 2 days, to
and get over it.
Yeah.
Now, you state that you empower animals and humans to live in balance as one with the web of life. What do you mean by that?
It's really we can't do this alone. We have to reach balance. It's the most important purpose of living. Nature teaches us balance. If you have too much water, it will drown you. If you don't have enough water, it will also kill you. So I feel like everyone in life is always needing to reach balance, again, like nature, and living as one, because we are all connected. And if you hurt, if you destroy your home like nature, you truly attract some life lessons that will teach you to stop hurting, or to bring you back in balance. So that's where the concept of accidents, accidents to me are not coincidences. It's not that you were unlucky. It's that you made decisions. You didn't honor your truth. You were out of balance. You were overworked. You wanted to please a friend, so you said, fine, I'll go on this road trip, but I really don't want to go. And then you got into an accident. There is messages everywhere for all of us to live by, and they just saves us a lot of pain. So that to me is the essence of life.
What's your vision for the future of veterinary medicine?
It's good. I mean, we are talking about a lot of things. We're bringing it all together finally. It's taking time, but it's like the human medicine also. We are finally bringing it all together. A lot of people are interested in more because they realize that just the Western medicine has limitations. And then if you reach out to, hey, let's not treat the disease, let's treat the whole patient. Physicians, veterinarians, doctors have experiences, spiritual experiences themselves. I do help veterinarians helping their own animals, and miracles have happened too. When Western medicine couldn't help anymore, and we've had to tap into shifting the energy and why is it happening? What is the life purpose? And a good friend of mine who's my colleague, her dog was on death's door of kidney failure, and she lived 4 more years. Wow. It was amazing, the shift and the therapy that we had to do to get there. But oh my God, I still have chills just remembering that because it was beautiful.
Mm. How can we evolve our relationships with our animals? And I mean not just our pets, but the entire planet.
Is compassion. Compassion and putting ourselves in their shoes, trying to look at life from their perspective and stepping out of our own little body and really taking a moment to go into the spirit world, to imagine that you're dead already and look at what's happening in the world and what you are participating into. And that will help you want to take action and really leave positive footprints only, and get to the zero waste lifestyle and sustainability and helping one another, because it feels good to give and to share and to help someone else. So instead of, we're killing a spider, start saving the insects. I can't tell you how much happiness it brings. And now I'm at the point that I go outside, I hang out outside, and I have dragonflies landing on my body, landing on my hand, and they just hang out there with me. And I can only tell you that it's because of all the good love that I've put out there to help nature and help the world, because I'm just amazed by how they come back to thank me and to hang out with me in such a loving way. Like I'm just amazed by how we are truly connected. It's so powerful and it's beautiful.
I've experienced that, and I know when I used to go on 2-week-long backpacks by myself, and when I'd been out in nature for couple days, it's like I would attune to nature, and the deer wouldn't run from me, and ravens would circle over where I was walking. It's like they're only afraid of us because we're out of balance, aren't they?
Yeah, they are the best judge of character. They sense everything, and I'm grateful that they're still believing in human race. They're not giving up on us. They really are trying hard to make us the people, the better versions of ourselves that they know we can be. So I thank the animals for that. They are truly believing in us, and so we need to show them that yes, we can be good. We can be as good as they believe we can be.
And do our animals' life's mission relate to our own?
Yes, and that's why we find each other. You can put a bunch of animals on one side and a bunch of people on the other side, and I bet you that there will be a perfect match between a human and an animal. So we find each other to grow and to heal together based on what's happening in our lives and what the animals have to learn as well.
Do you think that there's a lot of that going on behalf of the planet that's in stress? Do you think animals and people are coming together to actually serve the greater good as far as bringing this back into balance?
Yeah. I mean, we have to, and there's definitely a wave of, people, the newer, younger generations that are way more awakened and way more like they're big empaths. I mean, they're feeling the pain of the world, and it's hard. And I feel bad because a lot of them commit suicide, at a young age because they just can't deal with the amount of pain and destruction. And it pains me too. I mean, I feel it. It's hard to bear, watching what's happening and the destructions. But again, we have the power to turn that around.
We absolutely do. And unfortunately, time has flown. I could go on with you for another hour, but thank you so much for coming on the show and bringing your message.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. And together we can do this.
I'm so with you. Our guest this hour has been veterinarian and the author of Animal Teachings from Hayley's Angel Methods, Dr. Joanne Lefebvre Connolly. Her website, Hayley'sAngels.com. For our amazing past episode collection, visit our website, www.missionevolution.org. This has been Mission Evolution Radio Show with Gwilda Wiyaka on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. Join us next time as this mission continues, bringing information, resources, and support to our evolving world.